May 2, 2023. The dinar is recovering and will return strong and stable. Franc 26. Central, payment of wages and salaries of foreign workers in Iraqi dinars. The CBI says to the international world, you can trust our national currency, and because of Article 8 we can trust your foreign currency in our country. I don't know when the Iraqi dinar rate, will be capped. I don't know when it's going to stop with the cap. You must determine that. It's your stewardship/responsibility. I will say this, Middle Eastern currencies are all $3+. Iraq boots on the ground report, FIREFLY, they said the CBI tomorrow launches a new campaign. Making more services available to citizens like electronic payments, new bank accounts, open loans, new cards etc., all things to reduce cash. The governor announced all payments of salaries to foreign workers inside of Iraq will be done in dinars, plus all taxes and insurances must be paid in from now on in dinars. Franc, the national currency, is about to come out in the new exchange rate. All of these things have to be set up now. You can't introduce a new exchange rate and new currency without these things being done first. This is the definition of your monetary reform education. Militia man. Financial inclusion is starting tomorrow. How long is it going to take? They said about a week. Banks are going to be reviewing banking services to customers, the use of electronic banking tools, point-of-sale devices which could include ATMs, and the culture of electronic payments. The government seeks to generalize the experience to all public and private sector institutions. They're basically saying if you want your new value, you're going to have to have bank accounts. You're going to have to do it electronically, and you're probably going to have to do it whether you like it or not. Deepwoods. Why choose 1310 at all? Doesn't compute in my mind. They jumped from 1160 to 1190 to 1460 with the flip of a switch. Only one reason why they can't make an equal jump back, because they don't want to yet. So what are they waiting on? And if you think to dollarize, wouldn't making your currency more valuable, with the IMF's consent, instantly cause all the citizens to forget the dollar? Samson. Today, Sunday, the Association of Iraqi Private Banks confirmed that the dinar is recovering and will return strong and stable. Claire. In the presence of al-Sudani and al-Halbasi. The state administration sets a date for resolving the budget discussions. Quote, May 10, 2023 as the last resort to resolve discussions on budget items. The meeting was attended by the Prime Minister, Speaker of Parliament and all leaders of the coalition. MNT Goat. Sudanese advisor. The official and parallel exchange rates match depends on this matter. I believe this is part of the process to the RV and reinstatement. My CBI contact has told me a couple times now that they must get the rate within the range necessary. The official rate and parallel market rates must match with only a small variance allowed, and I quote, if the difference between them is 2%, then it is considered a match. Marx. The state administration sets a deadline of 10 days for resolving discussions on the budget. If they are putting this out, this means they are way ahead of that timeline now. They put out dates to keep the timing cloudy. Question: do you expect a new rate inside the budget? Marx answer: I expect to see it about the same time. HCL needs that rate. The hydrocarbon law. Question: is this our week, Mark? Marx answer: even though I keep getting egg on my face, I do believe this could be our week. Walking stick. The basket that they have chosen to be in is probably the safest way to start the float, at 1.5, where the CBI can come out and say, we are done. And come out with the new small category notes, at a full 100% asset backed after the onset instead. What do you want to start at $3.50? Okay, fine. They can do that if they wanted to. Would they do that? They can. Via Franc 26, Iraqi Bank Friendaki's CBI meeting report, walking stick, employees are now paid in IQD throughout Iraq. Franc, what does it mean? It means their Article 8 that the currency of Iraq has a new value to it and they know it. Walking stick, ATM machines are in the private banks are now linked internationally all around the world. The tender for the new national currency and the coins has been fulfilled and it will be done by De La Rue. The exchanges that will occur through the ISX and the ESX, that date was given in order to start trading internationally. Frank, I'm very curious to know when that date is. Walking stick, the introduction of the notes and coins was given. Mining operation contracts rolling in now. All of them paid in Iraqi dinars. Iraqi News Tuesday morning. Iraq Economic News Highlights May 2, 2023. May 2, 2023. Obelisk clock, money for theft of the century was distributed to influential political and media figures. May 2, 2023. Baghdad/the Obelisk Al-Hadath. The obelisk publishes the most prominent interactions of TV dialogues. Independent MP Ala al-Haidari during a televised interview. Noor Zuhair's file is with the judiciary and he is concerned with it. The money of the theft of the century was distributed to influential politicians and the media. The corruption proceeds recovery law will allow the return of money stolen since 2004. The Kurdistan region is rebellious against all government decisions. Al-Sudani was following the file of the communication companies and he must continue. Granting money to Kurdistan that exceeds other provinces is a door to corruption. Al-Kazemi is accused of conspiring with the Americans in the airport incident. The authorities are required to seek the trial of Al-Kazemi. Al-Kazemi must be brought to Iraq for trial. The Minister of Agriculture in Al-Kazemi's government was a mock. The moves of the American ambassador, it may even reach the popular teams. The American ambassador has exceeded her diplomatic powers. Member of the Parliamentary Integrity Committee, Ali Turki, during a televised interview, those involved in stealing the century are still outside Iraq. There are judicial procedures being taken to recover money from Noor Zuhair. The government has an integrated program to punish the corrupt and recover the money. A burnt paper for America. Iraq will not be a backyard for America and others. Iraq is looking for equal international relations. The Kurdistan region deals with rebellion with the state. The region was the main carrier of the money of the theft of the century looted from Bankstash. The Kurdistan region is not proud of belonging to Iraq. Northern Iraq deals with opportunism and exploits opportunities. Recovering money is necessary to bridge the budget deficit. Former advisor to the Parliamentary Agriculture and Marshes Committee, Adil al-Mukhtar, during a televised interview, there is negligence on the part of the Iraqi side in negotiating with Turkey. An agricultural plan must be drawn up according to what comes to Iraq in terms of water shares. Agricultural policy in Iraq must be reviewed because negotiation over water shares takes a long time. The situation is dangerous in Iraq as a result of the water crisis, and the statements of the Minister of Water Resources are also dangerous regarding storage water. New taxes in the tripartite budget raise citizens' concerns. May 2, 2023, Baghdad, Nas. The leaks of imposing new taxes, as a step towards maximizing the government's treasury revenues to reduce the deficit rate, constitute a painful blow to the aspirations and hopes of citizens to improve their living standards, especially since they will not come from investment and commercial projects, but rather from the citizens' pockets. The imposition of new taxes in the country's tripartite budget begins with 5% on regular fuel, 15% on improved fuel, and 1% on sales of black oil. And the academic expert, Mohammed Derb, said in a statement to the official newspaper, which he followed, Nas, May 2, 2023, that taxes are added in each budget for different items, and this is a normal thing that happens in all countries of the world. The money is collected and the services provided are not commensurate with the size of what the citizens pay, and this may affect the life of the citizen, his livelihood and his economic life. Section. Citizens told the same newspaper that they do not know where and to whom these taxes go. And if these taxes are in order to increase and strengthen the funds for the national treasury in order to provide services to citizens, then the citizen may deliberately accept this increase. What arouses the anger of the street is the collection of a tax of 25,000 dinars for a single traveler outside the country, and with a simple equation, a family consisting of 6 people pay 150,000 dinars, which is an amount that burdens the burden of travelers, especially students and patients, for treatment. Other citizens objected to the imposition of a tax on filling fuel for personal cars and taxis, saying, "Our gasoline is bad, whether it is improved or regular, and it causes severe damage to the engines of our cars. Those who imported or manufactured it should be held accountable and compensate us for the damages." He adds, wondering, when the price rises, the citizen is who is affected, because the taxi driver will add the price difference to the exhausted citizen with low income. So how does this happen in a rich oil country like Iraq? Others asked, road and bridge taxes have already been imposed. Have the roads been repaired and have the bridges been maintained? Parliamentary finance. The 2023 budget is huge, and it is not possible to set a time limit for its approval. The Parliamentary Finance Committee stated today, Tuesday, that it is not possible to set a timetable for approving the draft financial budget law for the year 2023, pointing out that the budget contains many details. Yusuf Al-Kalabi, a member of the Parliamentary Finance Committee, told Euphrates News, "It is not possible to set an exact time date for approving the budget law, and the committee is working as hard as possible, and the budget is huge and contains very many financial details." He added, "The meetings of the Finance Committee continue until late at night, and what you are doing is a tremendous effort." And the House of Representatives had received, in the middle of last month, the draft budget law for the current year in the years 2024 and 2025, by the Council of Ministers, and the value of each budget amounted to approximately 200 trillion dinars, $151 billion, which is the highest in the history of the country. The year 2022 passed without approving a budget for the country, due to the political crisis, and the previous caretaker government had tried to send a budget, but it was prevented by a decision of the federal court. From Regad Dam Link al-Salami, the deficit rate in the budget violates the financial management law. Today al-Maluma, Baghdad. Independent MP Hadi al-Salami confirmed, on Tuesday, that the deficit percentage in the 2023 budget violates the financial management law, noting that the 2021 budget obligated the government to disclose the debts owed by the Kurdistan region. Al-Salami said in an interview with Al-Maluma Agency, "The budget contains many notes, as the deficit rate reached 18%, and this is contrary to the financial management law." He added that the loan ratio reaches 12 trillion and the interest rate is 6 trillion, and there are no detailed schedules in this regard, and he pointed out that there are observations about financial allocations for the governorates that are not commensurate with the size of the projects. Representatives, stressing that its legislation without making amendments will cause great embarrassment to the government. A member of the Oil and Energy Committee, Bassem Al-Garabawi, revealed earlier that there is a parliamentary division regarding passing the budget for 1 year or for several years. A crucial meeting between parliamentary finance and heads of blocs on passing the budget today. Information, Baghdad. A parliamentary source stated today, Tuesday, that a crucial meeting was held between the parliamentary finance and the heads of the blocs on passing the draft general budget law. The source said, in an interview with the information agency, that the Finance Committee, headed by Representative Atwan al-Atwani and in the presence of its members, met with the heads of parliamentary committees to discuss the draft federal budget law. He pointed out that the aim of the meeting is to put the final touches on the general budget law for the current year 2023 for the purpose of completing its reading inside the dome of Parliament. The deficit rate amounted to 63.275 trillion dinars, with the adoption of a price of $70 per barrel of oil, given that more than 95% of budget revenues depend on oil sales. Linked 9 days until the final settlement of the budget discussions. Iraq, May 2, 2023. Muhannad Abdul Wahab. The House of Representatives is waiting less than 9 days for the resolution of the budget discussions. This came at the push of al-Sudani for the State Administration Coalition, which has a comfortable majority in Parliament, and whose statement did not refer to the widening volume of popular demands to launch and include grants for journalists and the PMF differences, and even to amend the salary scale for all state employees. In the budget, the coalition said, in a statement after a meeting attended by Prime Minister Mohammed al-Sudani and Speaker of Parliament Mohammed al-Halbasi, that it held its regular meeting in Baghdad, hosted by Khamis al-Kanyar, indicating that the meeting was attended by Prime Minister Mohammed Shia al-Sudani, Parliament Speaker Mohammed al-Halbasi and all leaders of the coalition. Discussing the government and parliamentary files, service, economic, security and political issues. In the statement, the coalition stressed the importance of approving the federal budget and launching government projects and programs, noting that the coalition announced May 10 as the last day to resolve discussions on budget items. According to the statement, the participants discussed the terms of the political agreement and exerted maximum efforts to implement the government program and the ministerial platform, stressing their commitment to the date of the local elections at the end of this year. Meanwhile, the head of the Human Rights Bloc, Hussein al-Amiri, demanded, in an interview with Al-Sabah, to secure the grant for journalists amounting to 1 million dinars, and included in the budget, considering journalists the fourth authority in the sacrificing category, and it made many sacrifices, including the wounded and the martyrs, noting the importance of including it in the budget for the year 2023 and other budgets as an entitlement to them. On unifying the salary scale of employees, he indicated that the bloc also called for the inclusion of amendments within the budget to achieve justice and equality for all state employees, noting that among the bloc's demands is the inclusion of the popular crowd salary differences, noting that in the coming days, these rights will become clear during discussions. Current in the Finance and Planning Committees and the Security and Defense Committee.